What's up, everybody? Welcome to the video. This time is the Mezco 112 Collective Batman Sovereign Knight PX exclusive, which is the blue variant. And let's get started. If you have either the Onyx version or if you have the normal Sovereign Knight, you already know what to expect and what you're getting into. The only difference is going to be color issues. You know the articulation, you know the look, you know all the other stuff you're getting. But for those of you who just maybe tuning in by chance of just going to YouTube and just seeing it, I'm going to cover everything, right? Obviously. So let's get started. This Batman is probably my favorite Batman so far. It's a very nice Batman, and it just has, and by favorite Batman, I mean Sovereign Knight in general. This blue variant is just even better. It's icing on the cake. And the reason why I say that is because if you've read either the Grant Morrison Batman, or you are a fan of the Neil Adams stuff, or you just like the fact that Batman Inc., right? Let's go with Batman Inc. The only thing that's pretty much different on this guy is that if you add the gray and you put the black and you make it black, you have Batman Inc. There are tons of different variances that you can have with this Batman. You can have the Chris Burnham look. You can have the Frank Quietly look. You can do the Frank Quietly Batman and Robin look. There's a ton of different variations that you can get with this, just with the gray alone, and we're not even talking about the blue. But this is definitely the Neil Adams color. He definitely loved the blue and gray Batman, and it's really cool to see this kind of brought to life in their own specialized version, which I think is very, very cool. Now, I gotta honestly say, I love this tactical design. I like it on the regular Sovereign Knight too, but for some reason, this blue and gray really, really pop and stand out to the point that I don't even mind the long ears, because if anybody knows, I'm actually a short ears Batman guy. That is my preference, not my aversion, and it's just something I really like. Now, I've done enough rambling. Let's jump into the articulation. This Batman can look up, it can look down, can maneuver left and right. You can pretty much get all these expressions look out of this Batman. So if you want to stare down from this Batman, he can obviously pretty much nail it with this. He knows what he's doing. The cape is very nice. Although it is not wired, it does have a very good look to it. It's a very nice blue that you can technically see through. It's a nice little variance there. It's very nice. It actually sits and folds very well too. And it folds over. So even if you want to do the scowling Batman, very nice look as well. So now let's flip this back off this nice blue sheen. Let's talk about these arms and these pecs and these things like that. Arm actually goes up, goes out very nicely. The arms rotate in. They are double jointed. Because of the bat armor on the gauntlets, they don't fold all the way in, but they have a very nice look to it. They extend out, and the suit kind of rotates to your needs here. You get the standard arm articulation here, which is very nice. I've grown to like this look. I've grown to like this level of articulation that we're getting with Mezco, and I hope we keep it going forward. The arms can fold in very nicely, so you can do your back guard. You can even get very nice boxing stances, as if he was still taught by Wildcat before the whole Final Crisis and Flashpoint stuff. All right, so let's say you want to get your Wildcat training on. Caught him again. Looks very, very good. As far as ab crunch goes and how the upper torso works, there is a very small and decent rotating swivel here in the chest area as you see it move, right? Then there is a lower rotation that's not as much, you don't get as much wiggle room. So in the ab crunch area, this Batman is actually suffering from what the Ascendant Knight pretty much excelled at, which is that ab crunch articulation, which is very, very nice. But he still can maneuver and look very well done here. As far as the leg articulation goes, legs can go back, as you can see here. They can go really far forward, like really far. It's insane how far he can kick up, especially for a Mezco, which is crazy. Goes out pretty far as well. So if you want to do jump kicks, done. You want to do really crazy upward kicks, also done. It's just one of those things where your imagination is pretty much your limit here. Knees seem to be double jointed. As you can see, they cross here. But the cloth and the gauntlet is going to get in the way, especially with that musculatory design. So just keep that in mind. This Batman actually has pretty decent ankle pivot as well. It can rotate in, rotate a little bit out, rotates forward and backwards. So although there is no toe pivot, you definitely will have a very nice time posing this guy up. Now, as you can see here, I'm going to pose him up, and he actually has very decent time balancing as well. So that's something you can look forward to. Now, let's jump into his accessories. Let's try not to drag this on. I'm going to pose this up. One thing I know people didn't like was changing the color of the knee pads. So they actually enjoyed the fact that this one was kept gray. I personally Like the fact that they did keep it gray, just like everybody else here. It works really well for this gray variant. You stay there. Now we're going to talk about these hands. Catch these hands, catch these hands. We have these nice open action palm hands, which you already know we're getting if you have a Batman already. You have these nice battering hands, which hold batarangs. Now, I'm also going to show a battering here because as you can see here, you can hold it in the index to thumb, or you can hold it between the ring and the index finger, depending on how you want to do, depending on how many bat rings you want to use. Then we have his trigger finger hands, and this is for the Sonic Disruptor or the grapple gun. So the Sonic Disruptor here can be held in either hand. Looks really good and really nice. This one has a blue variant satellite piece, the dish part, and it has a nice little blue tint here with the red. Or if you are holding the grapple gun, which this one also has a nice blue shade to it as well. So let's get that grapple gun in hand. And there's also thread and a hook. And then there's also one when you load the grapple. The grapple gun also has a position here on the back, so that way should you want to store it, you can store it right in the back of Batman. You have normal holding hands for if you want to hold swords, axes, poles, anything like that, should you want to fight your enemies. Then you have the Kryptonite Knuckle Duster hand, which is only done on the right hand, because Batman might be ambidextrous through the skill, but he's primarily right-handed, right? You get the older Bruce Wayne head, which is starting in gray. There's a nice little detail in there. Shows he's a little bit older than the Sunny Knight version. You see a little bit of wrinkles in the face. You have the short ears variant, which him being grim and dark and having a slightly opened pouty mouth. One of my favorite ones. I love short ears Batman. Then you have this battle damage head right here. This is an absolute masterpiece. I actually love this scarred head. And no matter what you're going against, whether it's Catwoman, Bane, Scarecrow, this head could just be used in just about everything, and it'll just always look cool. Even if you painted this up and just had the battle part damage right here. Even has a black eye and a little bit of blood and scar there. Great piece. Then you get tons of batarangs. So 10 to be exact in total. And for the blue variant, they gave you gold ones to match the belt and the oval. That's really nice. Last but not least, you get the bat drone. Get your drone on. Get your drone on. So this actually has little wings that rotate up. Still no place to pretty much hold a stand here. So you're going to have to work that one out for yourself or Dremel one in. But these nice little bat wings are really nice. You can actually make it look really cool here too. So these are things you can look forward to with that. Well, now that that's pretty much all covered and we've covered the figure, let's have a look at how he looks next to his other counterparts with different colors. So here we have the normal one, which I have a modified cape on, and I've modified the head on the short ears. So if you ask, yes, I did modify it. That's because I have pretty much enjoyed that one to this point, and I was scared to do it to my Onyx version. Then we have the Onyx one, which looks very nice, and it's Michael Keaton-like look. And right now, these are the 3 Batmans that we have that are Sovereign Knight. Hopefully, we'll get the one that we saw at San Diego Comic-Con, which was jet black, which had a very nice look to it. But it was just, maybe it's coming, maybe it's not. We just don't know at this point. But it was a very nice look. But these absolutely look dope. For those of you who love your variants and things like that, you pretty much have options here with this. Now, that being said, let's take these 2 away. Jump into size comparison with other lines. Oh, actually, before we do other lines, let's compare them to other Bat-centric characters. Here he is with Commissioner Gordon. Here he is with Joker in a custom CJ coat. This is the Clown Prince of Crime version. This is the one I'm currently using most. Here we go. Deathstroke from Mezco. La-da-dee-da-do-do-do-do. And Superman. All we need now is like a Lex Luthor and a Mr. Freeze and all that other good jazz. I would love all of those, especially Mr. Freeze. I would love Mr. Freeze. I don't know if you guys are reading it, but if you read the Tom King 2-parter with Lee Weeks as the guest artist, please make sure you read that issue with Batman and Mr. Freeze. It's really dope. So here's what Batman looks like next to some allies and rogues. Get that going on. Let's take these guys out of the realm real quick. Now we're going to compare them to some other lines. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends Iron Fist. Loop-de-doop-doo. 1000 Toy Synthetic Human. An Articulated Icons Ninja. An SH Figuarts Kamen Rider O's. voila, Batman's still the biggest. But these guys all look pretty good next to him. Big, small, little. It's amazing that we can kind of mix our worlds now and have a lot of fun with that. Here he is next to a Lightning Collection Green Ranger. For those of you that want to get your crossovers on. And I forgot earlier to add Catwoman. So here she is. Here he is with a Mezco Batman Beyond. And I think that just about covers most of the lines, with the exception of Predator, who I forgot to take out. There's a lot of stuff to go through, but I'll probably add him in some photos, make him look cool, right? In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoy. Hope you found it informative. But most of all, guys, do good, be good, drink your water. Later.